Hey guys, decided it was time to up my knife game. Now I know this is a budget channel, and we're always gonna be, but at the same time, life's been kind of kind to me, so I decided it was time to upgrade some of my knives, to get some better stuff, and to, kind of experience the other side. Now, no, we're not gonna switch over to one of those channels that just reviews, super expensive stuff all the time. And by the way, guys, I paid for everything here on the table with my own money. These are not giveaways, not freebies. We're not going that direction, but I just wanted to treat myself, and I figured if I'm going to be reviewing gear long term, I really need to have and own some higher end knives for comparison purposes and just be familiar with some of these different steels. So I picked out 5 knives that I thought were good value, a good way to spend the money, but also they're just good value knives even though they are expensive. I do acknowledge there is a point of diminishing returns when it comes to pocket knives where money no longer buys you much more quality, and I tried to stay well below that threshold so that you guys, if you do happen to get in a position like me where life is kind to you, you can look at a few good options for the money and make a good decision. So first, Spyderco Mannix 2 Knife Center Edition with the CTS XHP steel. It's got that really cool I forgot what it's called, not a compression lock, but I think it's like a ball bearing lock or something like that. This is hands down the smoothest knife I've ever handled. This thing is just super smooth, just unbelievable. And the CTS XHP steel is said to be like a stainless D2. It has really phenomenal edge retention, and it's just said to be really good. I'm still testing. I'll be the judge of that. You'll see when we get to the review. Got that wear pocket clip, just really cool, made in USA, Golden, Colorado. Very cool. I picked this one, I think, because I wanted to get into that steel. And really, your only other options are the cold steel knives, and I just don't think you're getting anywhere near the quality. This was around 89 bucks. The cold steel knives are all around 60, 70, and I think you're not getting anything close. I really do feel just shell out a couple extra bucks because the quality you get for this, how smooth of a knife this is, I think definitely makes it worth it. Next, the Spyderco Native 5 and S35VN. I thought this was a wicked cool knife until I got that one. Definitely not as smooth. You can see it's definitely not as smooth at all. Lockback design. Same FRN handles, all that. Made in Golden, Colorado. The S35 is a pretty decent steel for the money. It takes a really good edge. It sharpens very easy. When you compare the two, being they are about the same price, of course the Mannix is a much better buy. But if you're really into the crucible steels, then that Native might be the choice to you. Plus, it's also one of the smaller of the bunch. It's really easy to carry in the pocket, and is very comfortable, very lightweight, and all that. Because especially with people who have issues with sharpening, the S35VN sharpens actually pretty decently. Not too bad. Real steel E771 carbon fiber handles, 14C28N steel, which is the same as some of the USA made Kershaws use. This thing, it's a Sandvik steel, by the way, is the smoothest budget knife I've ever handled. Now, that Mannix is smooth. This is like 80% of that in a $50 knife. Very smooth. You'll notice this thing's a really big flipper, and I can open this thing without any flick of the wrist whatsoever, without any effort. And mind you guys, I'm a lefty. I'm doing this right hand behind a camera, and this thing just whizzes open. If you put a little wrist into it, this thing really snaps. Got a nice, good, heavy-duty liner lock to it, good pocket clip. The carbon fiber is a little slippery for me, but I've really enjoyed these real steel knives. You can see now I'm up to like 3 of them. And guys, I've paid for every one of them. I have not gotten them for free. They're not samples. I've bought these with my own money. I really like them, and I will continue to buy them. It's my understanding they are made by Sanrenmu. They are basically a high-end line that they wanted to come out with, so they're coming out with a lot of knives in D2 and 14C, 28N and all that. This one here, I think is a little bit of a big folder. It's pretty heavy, but at the same time, this thing is very smooth. And if you're really into that you want a knife with a really smooth action, this is a definite winner. It's around 50 bucks. Yeah, it's not cheap, but at the same time, it's the cheapest on the table. And that 14C 28M is pretty renowned for being a pretty good EDC steel. It's what's been used in the Kershaw Skyline, which is considered one of the better EDC knives ever made. So just wanted to point that out, and it's in that same kind of price range. I tell you what, this definitely flips a lot smoother than a Skyline, and it's heavier. Yes, it's definitely a lot heavier, but at the same time, you do get that really super smooth action out of it. Next, woo-wee, boy do I love this. This is the Ontario Rat 1 in D2 steel with carbon fiber handles. This is a knife work special. I ended up getting this for around like 50 something bucks. They originally released this at like 38, which I missed it. I can't believe I missed it. But I picked it up for the 50 something. D2 steel on the Rat 2. It's, it's not the smoothest on earth. It's a big heavy knife. It's definitely a lot heavier than the original. I'm not sure what they did to make it so much heavier, if it's a carbon fiber or what. But man, did some edge retention tests on this. Holy crap, is this good. I mean, it's very difficult to open, to try and flick it, but man, that D2 steel, it's difficult to sharpen, but man, does it hold an edge. It is just a beauty. This thing's a really nice looking knife, so if you're a big fan of the Ontario Rat, you may want to consider this. And plus, I think it's always good to have a knife in D2, because that edge retention is just so phenomenal. Alright, I know I am the biggest hypocrite on earth. After years of talking smack about zero tolerance, I finally bought one. It's the 770. Now, in LMAX steel, by the way, too, stonewash, this is the aluminum handle version. The reason why I bought this is because this is now out in carbon fiber. So, the aluminum handle version has dropped in price. I was able to get this for $119. Only reason I bought it was because of the price. I was really interested in LMAX, and I really wanted to see, is a zero tolerance really worth it? Sure, I've handled them a million times, at shops and running into people who've had them and friends who've had them, but I've never actually owned one. I bit the bullet, bought it, and we'll see. If I buy another one, you'll know how much, if it's really worth the money. So far, I haven't done a ton of testing on the steel, which I'm going to get to soon. But you know what, guys? For the money, for $119, this is not as smooth, and this is spring assisted. It's not as smooth. Actually, you can see the blade is, and it's probably just a matter of it needing to be broke in, but you can see how it kind of goes and stops. When you're trying to put the blade back, it kind of hangs up a little. So, definitely not as smooth as some of the others on the table here, especially seeing it is the most expensive. It is a, spring assisted flipper, of course, but still, I was kind of expecting, everyone talks about how smooth these are and how awesome they are. I was expecting a little bit more of it. So I could say my initial is a very slight disappointment, to be honest. But that could, like I said, this thing could break in really quick, really easy. And depending on how this this LMAX steel does in my test, we'll see. But overall, I think my favorites, of course, I think I really like this Mannix 2. It's just such a smooth knife, lightweight, fits great in the pocket. And I really like this Real Steel. I really think it's just a fantastic knife for the money. I think they're going to be a big name in the knife industry eventually. So that's one I think to keep an eye on. 50 bucks might be more than you want to spend on a new brand, but to me it's worth it. And last, I forgot to put on the table, is the Kershaw Link. This is like 40 bucks, but it's just in my pocket, so I figured we show it as well. It's very similar to the Zero Tolerance 420 HC aluminum scales, 40 bucks. I've got knives that are more expensive than that already, but it was part of the purchase. I had a set amount of money I wanted to spend over the course of time, and this was just what I was able to fit in there. So there you go. those are the new purchases, everything I got, and what you'll be seeing over the next couple of weeks or months.